My story in a nutshell and what it has to do with Uranus. I had a spiritual awakening and thought everything will progress positively from here, but then it all came crashing down shortly after. So in 2016, I was at a yoga retreat in Cambodia and I had my spiritual awakening through meditation and reading the right books. I understood that I could be whatever I want to be, so I decided to go for my lifelong dream of creating my own music and videos. I returned home to Berlin where I had just finished working for a BMG music group and took time to explore my own voice, taking vocal lessons, writing songs, trying to go to open mics and collab with other musicians. I'm saying trying because a lot of times I would feel so insecure about my lack of experience that I would find excuses to not go or go and then not sing because I was crippled by anxiety most of the time. Or, which was the majority of the time, the Moloch of Berlin had a firm grip on me and I would be out partying and not coming home till Monday, sometimes Wednesday, if you know, you know. This was my way of coping with which I later found out was complex PTSD. Since I saw myself going nowhere, I packed my stuff and moved to Australia and was finally able to fully explore music as well as expand my work as a dancer. Everything seemed to be going in the right direction, except that I was not getting paid well for the things that I was doing. So I came back home to Germany, broke AF, had to sleep on friends' couches and didn't have health insurance, which was a big problem because I was sick a lot. That year I moved about 12 times, but I also went to 8 amazing festivals and quit drinking and taking drugs. I felt like I was constantly making 1 step forward and 2 steps back, but I didn't let anything stop me. I was determined to make it as an artist and kept working on myself and my craft. However, the universe had different plans for me. I went through some really intense planetary initiations. Pluto, Chiron, Saturn, Uranus, all the big players seemed to be whipping my back, forcing me to confront the shadows that I've been trying to suppress through my work ethic or with parties. In 2018 and 19, there was so much harassment, abuse, and betrayal happening in my life, it was impossible to not see the origins of these loops. While I was doing my best to find help, the stress triggered the most intense PTSD symptoms, and eventually I wasn't able to handle my everyday life anymore. For months, I was not able to sleep for more than 2 hours in a row, and I would wake up screaming from the intense nightmares I had. Throughout the day, I would have multiple panic attacks or completely freeze and dissociate because the flashbacks would become so overwhelming. It took 7 months until I finally got a spot at a trauma therapy facility where I would finally get help and find relief. Until then, I received weekly Reiki sessions or did shamanic journeying to not fully break down or even myself. Therapy then helped me to cognitively process the things that happened, but the trauma was still in the cells of my body. Once the treatment was finished, I decided to deepen my yoga practice to further and holistically heal. This decision led me to Bali, where I took a shamanic yoga teacher training. Shamanism was already near and dear to my heart through certain books and practices, but what I experienced and witnessed here was next level. I dove deep into shamanic breathwork and thereby not only received the most profound, eye-opening visions, but also was able to let go of so much of the baggage that I had been carrying in this life and beyond. I also deepened my studies in astrology and began to see the bigger picture. Eventually, I was stable and confident enough to finally continue with my endeavor of making art. I wish the story would end here with a happily ever after. However, Uranus kept hitting me with his signature move of pulling the rug from under me, and it took another 3.5 years to be where I'm at now. Having walked through the fire and the pits of hell of the creative industries, I am now ready, but also low-key anxious AF, to finally release all that I've been working on. I truly learned the lessons of surrendering to the universe, empowering myself, falling and getting back up on my feet, and trusting my intuition no matter what.
No matter what. No matter what, bitch.
Side note. I pray that this time I can fulfill my fantasies in peace. If not, then stick a finger up Uranus. JK. Uranus's biggest teaching is to roll with the punches and to trust that where you'll end up will always be at a better place, a higher octave than you were playing at before. And this is truly where I'm at now. I've leveled up so many times and never have felt so much peace, self-compassion, and self-love before. Even though I still have my battles with mental health, I have acquired so many tools to help myself, and I also have finally established self-trust as well as a strong connection to Great Spirit, which allows me to pause and reflect when I can't cope and know that it's okay to move through life in my own tempo and not how society expects me to. I learned more about who I really am and what I really want from life than I maybe could have never if I hadn't gone through this dark night of the soul.